Hello and welcome to this recorded seminar for Business 1301. Purpose of this seminar is to show you how to get into one of the business databases, find an article that you can review, get the source citation, then format an MLA style paper, and where you can get help from the library. To begin, we start with the main CTC website. If you come here to Academics, and then under Library, click on Databases. On the Databases page, scroll down to Business and Economics and click on that Subject tab. And one of the best ones to use is this one here, Business Entrepreneurship. The first time you enter into our databases, you should come to the database login page. The instructions for logging into the databases will be given right here. Your username will be a lowercase c and the first 7 digits of your CTC ID number. Your password will be your first and last initials in capital letters followed by your 6-digit birth date. That's 2-digit month, 2-digit day, the last 2 digits of your birth year. And then just go ahead and sign in. And this brings up the database search window. Now there is a search box that you can enter in keywords and it will find your materials. Otherwise, what you can do is come here to where it says like trending small businesses, loans and grants, financing your business, and budgeting. And then you can click here on explore this topic and learn more about that particular subject. If you scroll down a little bit, you'll notice that those same pictures have topic pages that are already established. And so you can choose things like budgeting, business ideas, plans, market research, marketing, how to fund your business. If you're interested in management, this gives you information about financing, expanding, managing your employees, selling and marketing your business, and technology. Or you might be looking at what's trending in small businesses, entrepreneurs, home-based businesses, and franchises, minority, veteran, and women-owned businesses, business structures and legal entities, networking, and learning from others. So these are all good places to start if you don't really have a concrete idea of what you're looking for. What you can do is maybe come here to managing your employees. This brings up the introduction of a topical overview. If you click on the Read More, this will give you information about employment management methods, communication, respect, trust, offsite employees. And then down here at the bottom, you'll see something that says source citation. And you're actually able to copy this into your document and have a citation. If, however, you want to have something that is from, say, a journal or a newspaper or a magazine, you can come down here and you'll see things like business plans, recommended resources, videos, diaries, audio, or directories, audio, and then right here you'll see magazines and journals and newspapers. And for the purposes of your assignment, you're going to be looking at either magazines and journal articles or newspaper articles. If you select the magazines and journals, you have the ability to narrow the focus down. This is like 21,000 magazines and journals. Some of these will be from popular magazines like Forbes, Businessweek, Time, Newsweek. Some of them will be from trade publications. And a trade publication is something that's written by people in an industry for people in that industry. And then you'll have academic journals as well. The way to tell if you have something that is academic is the number of words here. If you see anything that's in the 10,000 or more words, that's going to be an academic journal. If you see something that's a journal title that says maybe Journal of Sales, that probably will also be an academic journal. But when you have something like this is from Grocer. This is an example of a trade publication. The Economist is a popular literature type magazine, so those would be acceptable. What you can do is, if your professor has said that you need to have current information, you can do that one of two ways. You can come here to where it says publication date. There are some presets for the last week, the last month, or the last year, and it will limit to just that capability. If you have maybe the ability to look at maybe the last couple of years, you can put in a custom date range. You just click on this first box and then change the year to maybe 2022. Then click on the first day of the month. That puts the date up here in this first box. And then the second box, change the month maybe to February because we're nearly to the end of the month, and then click on the last day of the month and tell it to apply. And this should reduce this down considerably, down to 447 items. Now you can come here to where it says document type. Now the difference between article and brief article is a brief article is going to be at most maybe a paragraph in length. An article could be like a quarter page, half page to begin with, and it can go up to 50 or 100 pages. You also have various reports, interviews, and other type material. We're just going to go and look for articles and say apply. That brings us down from 21,000, now we're down to 286. You can come here to where it says subjects. And you have like workers, employers, COVID, labor force, outsourcing. And so you might want to look at maybe the outsourcing or work environment. And this tells you the number of articles. You just click on that one. And we have 10 articles dealing with the managing of employees and the work environment. And from here, what you can do is just click on an article title. This gives you the date of publication, and this one does not appear to have an author. Now, Gale platforms for their databases have the same setup. So you have right up here where it says Cite, you have a Cite tool that you can use to select and then copy the item into a document and begin building a works cited list. And I'll show you how to correct the formatting for this in a little bit. Now, a little word of note, the link that it is given here, the URL, is not the permalink. To get the permalink, if you come here to where it says Get Link, and then tell it to copy, and then bring up your paper, and then highlight the URL, and then just paste it in. The other thing too is the access date. The access date is not needed if there is a publication date or copyright available. And so we can just go ahead and remove that from our source. And I can close this. Now the icons that you're seeing here, this first one is a translate feature, and it allows you to translate the article into one of these, I believe it's 25 different languages. and this is Russian. And you can see how quickly that will work. So if you're not a native English reader, or you want to practice your reading skills in a foreign language, you can translate it and have it be completely in that particular language. You'll also will notice that your keywords are in red, and you have the ability to highlight as well. If you see an article that you like, by the way, you have this feature over here where it has explore more like this, and you can use these to find other articles on your particular topic and related subjects. Okay, if I come to these next two icons here, this one allows you to decrease the size of the font. This one increases the size of the font. If you need to change the background of what you're reading, you can change it here by changing it to gray, peach, or green. You can also change the font so that maybe it's easier to read, or the line, letter, and word spacing. And then when you're done, just click here on Done. Otherwise, just use the default settings. This last icon here on the left is your Listen feature. The Listen feature allows you to hear the article, and it will highlight the words as it goes along. The other thing you're able to do is you can download the article as an MP3 file to your computer, your phone, laptop, or tablet. So you have that. These next two items here allow you to upload it to either Google Drive or to OneDrive. Word of note, please be logged into either your Google account or your OneDrive account, because otherwise it will go to the library's account. If you see, the other thing I would recommend is that you check the email function, because sometimes there will be here, as it says send as, there'll be something that says PDF. If you see something that says PDF, that means that the article is available the way it appeared in print. This is important because the PDF file will give you the page numbers for the source that you can then use in your in-text citations. If you do see the word PDF here, then just put in your email address as the recipient and as the sender, and then tell it to send. And then you'll have an email that will include the PDF file as an attached file, and it will give you the source citation in the default format for MLA. So that's how that will work. You can also download the article directly to your computer, and you can also print it to your computer. If I go back to my results page, let's try this one here, and see what, yes, this is one that has a PDF file that I would put in my email address. I want to put it in as both the sender and the recipient. And then I will click send and then close. Now when you open this up, sometimes you will get an error message like this. And what you may have to do is use the download feature, but this is showing that no pages are here. And there may be an issue with how this was formatted. So I'm going to click on download just to see what happens. Now occasionally what will happen when you email it as a PDF file, the database folks will do some upgrades, and sometimes what happens is the PDF file may not be encoded properly. And so you may find, if it happens, you may find that it does not open. And so what you would do is use the HTML version of the article. But occasionally, it does not happen often, but it does happen. Okay, so that is how you would use this bit here. If you want to narrow it even further, there is a search within function that allows you to type in a keyword and narrow it down to very specifics. And these blue boxes that you're seeing here, these are your filters, and anytime you have something that's filtered too much or you're not getting quite the information that you're wanting, what you can do is click on these little X's here and it removes the filter. The other thing I can do is I can say document contains images and see if there's anything. If it's not, I can just go back and take out some of these and then see what happens. And this one theoretically has images, but the PDF file does not open. So I do not, oh, there are some images right here that I can use. And so this is something that you can find very good. What I'm going to do is go ahead and select this one and copy it. And then paste this into my document. And now I can begin looking at how to format these. But that's how you find information through whatever. This is kind of what happens when the PDF file is improperly coded. This is what you may end up seeing. What I would recommend doing is give it a day or two and then use the permalink to go back to that particular article and see if it gets fixed. But that's usually what happens after they do some upgrading. So we go ahead and close that. All right, let's talk about formatting your MLA style paper. What you can do, if you do a Control A and highlight everything in your paper, you can do a right mouse click and then come here to font. Just type in TIM to bring up Times New Roman, regular, size 12. And I'm going to set this as the default font for my paper. Just say OK. Now everything here is going to be in Times New Roman size 12. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set the default line spacing to double. I'm going to do another right mouse click, come here to paragraph, and then line spacing. I'm going to change that to double and make that my default. And sometimes it works and sometimes it does not. So you can come up here to the paragraph box on the ribbon and then just go and select double. Technology is wonderful, but every so often it drives me crazy. So I've got everything is double spaced. Now down here I have some sources. The thing you want to do with your sources is to make sure that they're in alphabetical order and in a hanging indented paragraph format. So brown comes before how, so I'm just going to move that into position here. The other thing I can do is right here with the title in all capital letters, I can highlight the words, and then right here where I have this AA, that's your change case feature, and you just tell it to capitalize each word, and that way you don't have to retype it. The other thing too is the title of the article also needs to be in what's known as title case. so I can capitalize each word there. And then things like the, of, need to be in lowercase. This would be a lowercase b. And the significant words are usually those that are longer than 3 letters. Sometimes you may have words that are significant that are 3 letters, like this may, but like the would not be a significant thing, so you can just correct those as you go along. Now the name of the magazine or the journal will be italicized. The name of the database should be italicized as well. And then like this one here, I have that needs to be changed, so I'll just fix that real quick. That's an I. And that takes care of my information there. And again, The Economist is italicized, it's the name of the publication, and the name of the database is also italicized. Now, your sources need to be in what's known as a hanging indented paragraph format. The way to do that is to take your mouse and highlight your sources, and then come to paragraph, and then under special, choose hanging, and say OK. That puts this in a hanging indented format. The hanging format gets its name because the first line is flush with the left margin, and everything else is indented or hangs 1/2 inch off of the left margin, and so that's where it gets its name from. And that's how you use how you format your works cited. Now, the thing to note here is sometimes you'll have items like this that do not have a page number. That do not have an author. When you have something like this, what MLA says is use the first 1 to 3 words for your in-text citations. And in this case, all I need is the author's name, and this actually does have a page number that I can use. However, it's always a good idea to take it from the source. When you don't have a source that you can use for that, then what we need to do is just use what you have when you don't have the other. So let's go up here to the top. I have basically at the top you have your name, your professor's name, either the course name or the number, the date in day, month, year format. The month is always spelled out, and the title of the paper. Now you do need to put it in a header. If you come to the Insert tab on the ribbon, click on Header, choose the first blank, and then come over here to Page Number, top of page, the third option. That puts the page number flush with the right margin, and then you just type in your last name and hit the space bar once. That's all the information that is needed for the header. And just close that, and then you're ready to begin typing your paper. Now the first line of each new paragraph in your paper should be indented 1/2 inch in from the left margin. You can use the tab key for this. Otherwise, what you can do is use the same paragraph special format that you use for the hanging indentation, only you have a first line option. So what you can do is do a right mouse click, come to paragraph, and under special use first line, and then say OK. That moves your typing cursor over 1/2 inch, and then what you do is you begin typing. You don't worry about hitting the enter key, because the computer will take care of the line space, the carriage return and line feed for you. When you're ready for a new paragraph, you hit the enter key and just begin typing again. Okay, so that's how you set up an MLA style paper. Now, the In-text citations, what are they? When do you use them? How do you use them? In-text citations are nothing more or less than a pointer to your works cited list. And it's the general format for a parenthetical citation is the author's last name, a space, and then the page number, if it is available from the source. If it is not, you don't have to worry about what paragraph or what chapter or anything of that sort. So you can just put in what you have. And so if I have something that contains source information, and source information can be a quote, a paraphrased item, summary, or statistical information. Anything that is not your original thought or that is not common knowledge must be cited. And it's each sentence that contains referenced information should have an in-text citation. So in this case, I have some material, and it came from this one here by Brown. And so all I need is the author's last name, and parenthetical is, like I say, the easiest of all of the in-text citations, and it comes before the period at the end of the sentence. Now, if I've got something that I am citing, maybe a quote that ends with a period, and it comes from this other source. This is an article, so all I need is, in this case, just the first word. So I can say, copy that, and then come up here and paste this in, and to a close quote, and then a close parentheses. Now, when you have a quote that ends with punctuation, like a period or a comma, that punctuation gets moved after the in-text citation, and that finishes the sentence. And that's how you do in-text citations for MLA. Now, if I come back to the library's main page, how to get help from the library. One way is to come in to the library and say, I need help. Another way of getting help is you can use the Ask a Librarian feature. This feature allows you to submit an email to the library. The turnaround time, depending on if the library is open, it's maybe a few minutes to maybe a couple of hours. If it's on a day that the library is closed, like a holiday or during break or on Saturdays, there is somebody on call that routinely will look at the inbox throughout the day and answer questions as they come in. So you should have a response back from the library within 24 hours of our receiving it. Okay, if I come back to the library's main page, and that, by the way, is 24/7, 365 that we do this. If I come down a little bit, under Contact Us, you'll see our direct email address, our local phone number, and our toll-free in and out-of-state numbers. If I scroll down a little bit more, you'll notice that we have our live chat is up and working. You can type in a question in this box, and within a couple of seconds to a couple of minutes, you should have a response back to your question. You can also, by the way, you'll be chatting with a live human being. This is not a chat bot. So that's just something to be aware of. Then you can also use your smartphone and send us a text message at 254-400-2275. If I scroll up here a little bit, right here where it says request a seminar or appointment, if you are having difficulty at any point in working on your paper, you can actually come here and say request a seminar or an appointment. There are actually three options. There's no preference, where you have the first available person. My colleague, Miss Oser, does her appointments in person only. If you want to do yours in person or over the phone or via the internet, click on my name and you'll see what dates I have available and then what time, and then continue. You'll put in your first and last name, your email address, and then down here you have how you want to have your appointment. If you choose the online, what will happen is I will send you a WebEx meeting link for the date and time that you've selected. And then when the meeting begins, I will make you the presenter so that I can see what's on your screen. When you click on confirm appointment, that sends us both an email with your request for an appointment and the date and time, and in this case, what type of an appointment you want. If you, like I say, if you see with Ms. Oser, these options will not be available to you. The research study guides. These have a number of guides that you can use to explore topics. If you type in the word seminar, it will show you the various seminars that we have that are recorded. And by the way, we are in the process of updating these. And so there is one here for Business 1301 that you'll be able to click on the graphic or over here on the link, and it will take you to this recorded seminar. So you have that. The Writing Center is now tied into this request an appointment or seminar. Now, the research paper review is the library's proofreading service. What you're able to do is send us a final draft version of your paper or your discussion board posting for any of your CTC courses as an attached Microsoft Word file, and you'll send it to teaching.learning@ctcd.edu. What you'll get back from the library within 24 hours will be two proofreading reports. One will be a grammar report. We run your paper through Grammarly and give you a report for that. Then we also give you a bubble comments report where we look at your paper for readability, flow, logic. We look at the in-text and source citations and overall formatting. And then we'll highlight and put little bubbles in the right margin for items that we think need to be corrected, or give you some guidance on maybe a choice of wording, or to correct maybe a misperception that you might have. The suggestions and the guidance you can take or leave. Now, the proofreading when the library is open, that could be done within 20 minutes or within a couple of hours. And on days that we're closed, like the Ask a Librarian, when you send us a question, papers are proofread within 24 hours, including days that we are closed. And so this is also a 24/7, 365 operation. Now, there are other proofreading services available. There's one, I believe, through the Academic Studio and one through Prowl that you can use. The difference between those and the libraries is we have a faster turnaround time, and we do it on days like holidays when maybe they don't look at the material that comes in. So that's how that works. Now, all of what I was mentioning as far as the formatting of your paper. If you come here to where it says citation resources, you'll find the link to the Purdue Online Writing Lab, or the OWL. The OWL provides very good, easy to understand examples of how to do some of the more basic or common types of citations, whether it's in-text citations or source citations. The library has taken that information and created a quick style guide that you can use. And it shows you a bit on the general formatting, how to do in-text citations, and some basics with the works cited. And so this is something that you have that can give you examples very easily. So that's how you can do things. If you are, one other little point I'm going to mention here about the works cited. Whether you have one source or 101 source, this is always works cited. And so that's just something to be aware of. And the works cited always is on its own page. The words works cited is at the top of the page and centered. It's not bolded, it's not italicized or underlined. That completes this seminar for Business 1301. If you need more assistance, you can always contact us. That's what we're here for. And with that, we look forward to seeing your papers, or if you need help, we look forward to giving you whatever assistance we can. Thank you for attending.